What's going on everyone, Mike here, and in this video I've gathered about 25 or so tips and tricks on the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 and I'm pretty sure you're going to find many of them useful. Let's have a look and don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you'll enjoy the clip. We're going to focus first on the novelties brought by the Note 3. For instance, Samsung made a couple of design changes on this new Galaxy. There was a lot of hype around the new rear cover with its leather-like texture and false stitches, but this only mimics leather and is still made from plastic. Aside from that, the speaker is no longer placed on the back of the phone, but on the lower edge, so you might accidentally cover it while using the phone in landscape mode, and there's also a slightly redesigned S-Pen, easier to fit in its place than it was in the past. Those aside, let's pop open the rear cover of the Note. You'll notice here that there's a new ensemble that takes both the microSD and the SIM cards. The SIM slot is placed beneath, and you'll have to remove the battery to access it, while the card slot sits on top and the microSD card can be slid in without having to turn off the phone first. Okay, let's turn our attention on the S Pen now, which does feature a handful of new capabilities, like the Air Command Suit. Hovering the pen over the screen and hitting the button on the stylus brings up a new menu with several different options, including Action Memo, Scrapbooker, Screenwriter or S-Finder. Most of these options can be accessed quicker as well. For Action Memo, press the pen button and double tap on the screen. For Scrapbooker, just hold the pen button and draw a selection on the screen, and for the S-Finder, press and hold the menu key. The Note 3 also features a few new gestures, aside from those we've seen already on the Galaxy S4, which are also present on this handset. For example, there's this thing called one-handed operation that you can activate and tweak from the settings. Swiping to the left and then quickly to the right shrinks the canvas so you can easier access all the icons and commands with a single hand. You can even resize the shrunk version if you want to, as you can see here. Besides this, you get the resized keyboard and dialer, and all this can be aligned either to the right or to the left. We also get magnification gestures on the Note 3 that can be activated by going to Settings, Device, Accessibility and make sure the toggle on magnification gestures is switched to green. This function allows you to triple tap anywhere on the screen and zoom in on that particular area. While zoomed in, you can also pinch to zoom and drag around to move within the interface. The Note 3 offers a magazine mode, which is in many ways similar to HTC's Blink feed, displaying a selection of articles and social media updates. To access it, just swipe from the bottom of the screen. There's also the classic option to swipe from the top that opens the notification panel, or use two fingers while swiping from the top, which will take you to the toggles tray. Speaking of those, you can rearrange this if you want to, and long pressing on any of them will just take you directly to the exact menu in the settings associated with each toggle. Oh, and I forgot to mention that in the notification panel, you can long press on a notification and get more details about the app that sent it, which can be quite useful. As for the older gestures, there's of course Quick Glance on the Note 3, the ability to take or reject a call while using your hands and without touching the screen, the Smart Eye functions and many others, but we'll talk more about those in a different clip. You also get RV gestures on this Galaxy, either by hovering your finger over the screen or the pen. For instance, while writing a message, hovering the pen over the contacts field and double-clicking the button on it will display a list of favorite contacts, and doing the same thing while hovering the pen over the attachments button will launch your latest 4 photos from the album. That's something new, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, let's move on and look at other things. The keyboard was slightly tweaked on the Note 3, and has a couple of different modes to choose from, like the standard mode we've seen in the past, the floating mode that lets you place the keyboard wherever you might want on the screen, and the one-handed mode already mentioned before. Looking at the specs, you might have noticed that the base version of the Note 3 offers 32GB of internal storage, and about 25GB of those are available for your apps and content. On top of that, on this Galaxy you get the option to move apps on the SD card if you want to. Speaking about the hardware, the Note 3 is one of the few handsets to feature a USB 3.0 port. That makes the microUSB connector larger, and the included cable comes with an appropriate tip. But on the other hand, you'll transfer files a lot quicker on this device and you'll also charge it faster. Regardless, if by any chance you don't have a USB 3.0 cable around, the Note is going to work with a standard cable as well, both for charging and for transferring files, but you'll lose the speed gains. Anyway, this phone comes with a large display, and while it packs an AMOLED panel, Samsung promises it delivers more accurate colors. The Auto Adjust Color Mode and the Auto Adjust Screen Tone options are also present in the settings under Display, just like on the S4. Even so, the colors are still oversaturated in my opinion when compared to those on the iPhones or the HTC One. There are a few things worth mentioning about the camera on the Note 3 as well, a 13MP shooter. Samsung claims that it does offer improved image stabilization and a few cool video modes, like slow motion and even 4K recordings. Of course, all the other features and modes we've seen on the S4 are also present here. The pics and videos are the ones that matter though, and I'll tell you more about those in a future clip. Stay tuned. Anyway, before we end, there are two more things I want to mention. First, in order to take a snapshot of the screen on the Note 3, you can either use the swipe gesture if you've activated it from the menu under palm motion, or press the power and home buttons at the exact same time. A framing effect and the shutter sound will let you know if you got it right. Besides that, you do get the multi-window mode on the Note 3, like we've seen on other Galaxy smartphones, which shares the screen between two different apps and lets you run both of them simultaneously. It's nothing new, but this feature comes especially handy on such a large phone with a high-resolution display. Okay, and that pretty much sums it up for this clip. I've gathered many interesting things I found on the Note 3 in the last days, and hopefully you did find them useful and you did learn some tricks that you didn't know already. Either way, make sure to leave a thumbs up for the effort and share the video around, that would really help me a lot. And of course, if you know other cool tricks and have any tips worth sharing, do leave your comments below. I'd love to feature your findings in the follow-up video. Anyway, thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.